you crazy cats and kittens out there, pod person land, welcome back to another episode of Fall the Love Movies. I'm Sean Fall, and today we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, Godzilla. Yeah, Kong. I expected to hate it. I didn't. I didn't like it. I didn't, love it. It wasn't great, but I didn't fall asleep, and that's something to be said for a Godzilla movie. I've probably seen most of the Godzilla movies, or at least the American Godzilla movies, since like 2000. I'm not a Godzilla fan, but I just kind of see them. Most of the time I fall asleep. This time I didn't, so there's something to be said about that. This one stars a bunch of people I don't know and 11 from Stranger Things. None of the characters really matter, and that's not what this movie's about anyways. It's basically, someone playing with $20 million action figures and smashing them together and making big booms. It is what it is. If you like Godzilla movies, and, you'll probably like this. I guess I would say, personally, I was kind of I'm almost shocked, or at least delighted, or, good with the fact that they were not disparaging of conspiracy people and fringe science and, all of that world. As a lifelong conspiracy enthusiast, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of, the things that they were touching on. And, they were, we'll say, not correct about a lot of things, but they were at least respectful of it. So that's more than we can usually ask for in these types of movies, which is, usually just looking down upon those sort of things. But I guess in the world of Godzilla versus Kong, fucking conspiracy, the idea of it is just out the window anyways. So whatever, fuck it. But yeah, as I said, the characters, there's not really much to it. The acting is, just kind of cardboard cutouts for the most part. 11 is okay. Her dad could be replaced with a puppet and you wouldn't even notice. There's a few other characters like that are basically just cardboard cutouts that are kind of moved along the screen to, fill in for this archetype or that archetype. But it really is all just about big CGI and kind of slow-mo monster fights and explosions and there's a lot of that. So obviously, if that's what you're into, that's going to be fulfilled here. And I wouldn't expect anything more. And it does that well. The visuals are decent, These days, CGI should just be old hat. It should just be a given that a big blockbuster movie like this, or a big budget movie at least, is going to have a high quality CGI that's going to at least be believable, or at least not look horrible, Black Panther. But there are things that should be at least commended in this movie, and that is, the visuals are at a level that you would expect for a budget like this. The one kind of detractor visually, I would say, is the underworld. To me, I think it was a little bit kind of muddled and hazy and didn't quite give you the full idea and picture and concept of what it was that world really was, until you kind of saw enough of it to really take it all in. I think it would have been a lot more majestic if they had a much cleaner image of that, so that we could be in that world and be surrounded by it and kind of take it in a little bit more at once in awe, rather than kind of piecing it together and figuring out what the world is. I don't think the reveal worked there, and I think it would have been much more effective to just drop us into that, and then make it a little bit cleaner and crisper so we could actually see what the fuck was going on. But beyond that, I saw it in 3D, real D 3D. The 3D was decent. It's all CGI, so that shouldn't be too much to ask for. The entire movie is in the computer anyways, but it wasn't that, that cookie cutter CGI where everything is, just kind of cut out and moved on a plane. There was actual depth, and there was, a real sense of dimension to it. And it wasn't that cheesy 3D where everything is just coming out of the screen constantly. They kind of they respected the zero parallax, and they weren't crazy about beating you over the head with the 3D. Coincidentally, I was sitting next to a family that had a kid that it must have been his first 3D movie, and the entire movie, every time something 3D happened, you would just hear the glee and the joy of seeing something in that for the first time. And if you can, I recommend seeing a movie like that, because it does make it a lot more enjoyable to see it through the eyes of someone that is seeing 3D for the first time. Those of us old people are kind of jaded on the whole technology anyways, so might not be the best to just sit in alone and try and envelop yourself in that world. But beyond that, I'll have to say the 3D was well done, but the movie wasn't necessarily designed for 3D. There's a lot of shallow depth of field, and there's a lot of focus pulls, and there's a lot of things that I kind of keep me away from recommending this as a great 3D movie, but it's certainly a movie worthy of seeing in 3D. It's not just a tack on or a thing to be thrown in for extra money at the end. It is a fully fleshed out three-dimensional world. Again, not groundbreaking, but at least it's well done. Overall, movie is what it is. Again, if you like the Godzilla movies, this is like the fourth in the series, or maybe more, I don't know. If you like those, you'll like this. If you didn't like those, you won't like this. Pretty fucking cut and dry there. If you're forced to sit through it, just I guess try and enjoy the deaths of millions of people casually. I mean, it is kind of weird how many people just die in the background of this without, really even getting a close-up or a line or any sort of care from the audience. It's very obvious that the people don't matter in this world, and the only thing that really does matter is, well, maybe the 2 or 3 people that have speaking roles and close-ups, but the monsters are, the attraction here, and that's what we focus on for the entire movie. And again, if that's what you like, that's what you got. So yeah, that was Godzilla vs. Kong. This has been Father Love of Movies. I'm Sean Fa. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that crap. And in the comments, tell me what you want me to see next. We're kind of out of the big stuff, so I'm going to start scraping the barrel here, and let me know what looks stupid enough for you to